it would be better actually that I think the British Freedom Party, associated with the likes of Lee Barnes and Simon Bennett, is going to be a busted flush. Eventually they'll turn on everyone else, and then the party will rip itself apart. Do you think perhaps instead of fighting in the British Freedom Party, it might be worth considering going off and forming a new political party of your own? I mean, why bother fighting to take over something that is already tainted now in the eyes of many nationalists?
Well, I think you've got a point. I think the damage that's been caused to the image of the British Freedom Party by the people that we've already mentioned is quite severe. As far as going up and starting another party, I think what we first have to do is we have to keep things in perspective here and wait for the decision of the Electoral Commission. We have to know exactly what they have proposed, or exactly what is in these letters. We can't just go off and assume things, which is what some people are doing. If it turns out that, in fact, myself and my supporters have won control of the party, then obviously we want to keep British Freedom running. We think we can repair the damage with the right people in place and getting back to the right rhetoric and the right image again. If, on the other hand, it's a middle path that the Electoral Commission has followed, or they have found in favour of Peter Mullins, then obviously there's no way that we can work together. There can't be a reconciliation. There's been far too much said and done, particularly from the other side. And yes, what I would say there is we haven't been sitting on our hands for the last couple of months while this has been running on. There is a plan B, and should it be necessary, we can actually put that into operation within days. We can put that into operation next week. And for anybody that wants to stay with the British Freedom Party under Peter Mullins, then I wish them the best of luck. I suspect they'll probably need it. But anybody that actually believes in a truly democratic, modern, moderate nationalist party where the views of the membership and its supporters are actually considered and valued by the party officers, then I would suggest that they come with us to what our new party will be. One thing that we are prepared to do, because obviously you've got to remember people have paid good money to join a party in the British Freedom Party that they thought was going to be a moderate democratic nationalist party. We're making an offer to every member. If they want to follow us to a truly democratic nationalist party, don't get rid of your membership card, send it in to us, and we will issue you with a brand new membership card under the new party name, free of charge, until the end of the period that you've already paid for the British Freedom Party. So you can actually join the sort of party that you thought you were joining for no extra cost. So I'm making that known to everybody tonight, so that if it does come down to it, we will get the ball rolling with registering the new party next week, and everybody is welcome to join us. And we've already got a team in place who is capable of moving things along and going in the right direction again.
Okay, well, first of all, if you do go down that path, Gary, then obviously the British resistance site would be more than prepared to publish any statement that you care to release before or after you've actually carried out their actions. So all you have to do but you were talking about forming a new British party, another new party. 1 second, I just want to go back on the question and by Tyler 1-2. Just bear with me, sorry about this, Gary, scrolling off the screen so quick. This is from Councillor Kevin Edwards. With the obvious failure chaos, right, yeah, you were talking about forming another political party. Tyler is asking, I think it was, whether life could be breathed back into the British National Party, and would you consider rejoining the British National Party if, as Councillor Edwards said, with the obvious failure chaos that the BFP now is in, would you agree that the BNP is still the only true nationalist option still available? Kevin Edwards believes that if they can purge the party of thieves, crooks, incompetents and tyrants in control, start afresh with a democratic leadership structure for the membership, and a message of hope free of baggage to the electorate, can be a bigger success than we have ever been. Well, you know what these councillors are like for saying in 100 words when they can say it in 10. So would you consider joining the British National Party if there was a replacement of, say, the chairman and all the hierarchy that is currently employed by the party? Would that be an option, Gary?
There's a hell of a lot of ifs, buts and maybes in there. I think, I mean, obviously the British National Party is still the largest nationalist party in this country. It has got a problem with its image. Even if Nick finally accepted the inevitable and left, it will take time to repair that damage. It may take some considerable time to repair it. As far as I'm concerned at this present time, if, and as I say, if the Electoral Commission has found in favour of Peter Mullins or has walked a middle path which is not workable, then no, my first decision would be, not just mine, you know, the party officers around me, we've all made this decision together. We've already decided that the way forward would be to form a new party. We've got a name chosen, we've been working on a constitution. We haven't been idle. We are ready to roll. We've got plan B there. We can put it into force next week if necessary, because we feel that the membership of the Freedom Party have been conned, quite frankly. They were promised this cultural nationalism. They were promised a modern, moderate nationalist party, a democratic party. And under Peter Mullins' chairmanship, they haven't got it. What they have got is Lee Barnes pulling the strings, Peter as a figurehead, and then you've got the attack dogs. You've got Peter Stafford, you've got Michael Wood, you've got Simon Bennett, and even this Jim Ferry, who they all like to lay down the law. It's a case of, you know, pay your subscriptions, become a member, sit back, shut up and let us get on with the job that we want to do. The number of party members that have been in contact with me either by phone or by email or one way or another, and they've told me that they've asked an uncomfortable question, or they've shown some sympathy towards myself or party officers on our side of the party on the Freedom Party's discussion forum. They get an insult, they get abuse, and then they get banned. The same with the BDF. If anybody says something pro our side of the party, they get the usual people coming out calling them Griffinite trolls, you're not a nationalist, jog on, you've been owned. This isn't the language of a serious political party. It's absolute nonsense. So we have to think about these people. These people were promised something and they have been given nothing at all. I want to be able to be in a position, along with my executive, to give these people exactly what they were promised in the first place. And bottom line, that's the way we want to go. We want to do that for people. And whatever party we do form, if we have to form one, it will have a clean slate. Nobody on our side of the party has broken the Data Protection Act. We haven't posted people's home addresses online. We haven't posted people's work addresses online. We haven't scanned and copied onto the British Democracy Forum confidential letters with full home addresses on there. The actions of Simon Bennett in tracking IP addresses and posting home addresses and personal details online is an absolute disgrace. and bearing in mind that this is the same man that Peter Mullins now wants to appoint as his treasurer. Now, if your personal details weren't safe with Simon Bennett, how comfortable do you feel with your money in the hands of Simon Bennett?
Well, you know, I'm not going to argue with you there, Gary, that's for sure. I mean, Simon Bennett, in order to attack me, posted the address of my 88-year-old mother. I believe Simon Bennett posted my information to the red sites long before the membership list was released, but I don't have conclusive proof on that, so I'm not going to argue with you there about Simon Bennett and some of the things he's up to. Talking about the Democracy Forum, because I do want to go back to this new party, but talking about the Democracy Forum, you know, I'm not a great one for people being prescribed or organisation being prescribed, but that Democracy Forum, in my opinion, has been so divisive for nationalism, Gary, that I've tried to stay away from it myself, and I've asked that people, unless it's just posting a link for information, stay out of getting into these dogfights that happen on there that bring all nationalists into disrepute. So what are your feelings about the British Democracy Forum? Are you going to post on there, or are you going to recommend that you just stay away and leave it to the people of the likes of Simon Bennett? Although I understand Simon Bennett and Lee Barnes are now banned from the site because of libel laws and stuff like that. Opinions on the Democracy Forum?
Right, the Democracy Forum, I'm not a great fan of it, to be quite honest. I think it's there with its own agenda. There are people that have posted items on there which are perhaps a little borderline, or in fact they haven't really done anything wrong, and they get banned. Whereas the likes of Simon Bennett and Lee Barnes, they come on there, they do their tirades. Simon Bennett has posted, as I say, a confidential letter from my wife to the chairman, Peter Mullins, which was reproduced in full with the address on it, on the BDF. IP addresses, personal addresses. I mean, my home address, my work address have been posted on there, and yet Simon Bennett was still on there. As you quite rightly say, under his name of Simon Bennett, he's now on gardening leave, as is Lee Barnes. But there are other newbies which have come on there, which quite surprisingly have incredibly similar writing styles to Mr. Bennett and Mr. Barnes. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're not back on there. I think they're back on there under a different name. But I suppose if people have wanted to go on there and try and explain what's going on, that's fine. I'm not a great fan of it, and I think once we've got this situation resolved one way or another, the best thing that all nationalists can do is turn their back on it and leave it alone, because it's not there to help. And as far as nationalist parties as a whole, I mean, you asked me if I would rejoin the British National Party, and I've answered that question. But what I would say is, if we do end up forming another party, what I would like to see is a nationalist forum of some sort, a nationalist coalition perhaps, where we can actually get the party leaders of all the British or the English nationalist parties together to sit around a table to discuss the similarities, the things that we can work on together, and start pulling together. We've got far more similarities than we have differences, and it's about time we started to pool our resources and work together. We've seen for a long time now, if there is a danger of a nationalist candidate making a good showing in a by-election or a general election, whatever, then you will see Labour, Lib Dems, the Tories, you know, they won't fight a proper campaign. They'll let one of those candidates have the lion's share of the vote. While poor old nationalists, they're splitting the votes between themselves all the time. You know, UKIP, BNP, so many nationalist parties really, all working as individuals. What we should be doing is stay as individual parties with a common agenda